Hoosier Nation, what's going on? Indiana wins 71-67 over Michigan State, inexplicably goes into East Lansing and gets the job done. Shades of 2019 when Archie Miller went into Michigan State when they were ranked, I think, sixth in the country and got a win. Indiana, goes in on a night, Ben, where Mike Woodson doesn't show up to the pregame interview and sends Calbert Chaney. On a night where you just really, Tom Izzo's going to break Bob Knight's record. And somehow Indiana, they're down 20-8 and they find a way to get a win in, essentially a must-win game for any type of hopes. We'll talk about a path here later because I'm unhinged and that's just what I do. But what were your initial thoughts of last night's game? We wanted to go live last night. It was about 11:30. I was like, "Ah, the hell with it." What say you?
When it was what was it, 12-2? I mean, I thought 12-2 on the cock, you're down. It's not exactly where you want to be on a Tuesday night in East Lansing, but somehow, some way, the team came back and pulled through, and I thought for sure they were going to blow it at the end, and they didn't. And shout out to two of our guys. I thought Renew played his best game in a really long time, and Ballo played pretty good. I'd still like to see him shoot the ball more, but 14-10.
The two big system, right? Yeah. The two big system, just the way Woody had envisioned it as a rock fight. Renew is 19-12, Ballo 14-10, and battled some foul trouble. Things were looking bleak early. Like you said, you're on Peacock. It's 9:30. You're getting blown out. It's got you searching for Roadhouse or Seinfeld or something on TV, Shawshank Redemption, something like that. And they completely turn it around and find a way to win. And honestly, it's a credit to this team. I will say this, right? We've been pretty tough on them. A credit to this team where they had, they've lost 6 of 7 at this point, maybe 7 of 8. Hell, I don't even know anymore. And go in and get the job done. And, you can say what you want about Michigan State, the way they can shoot the ball. Mike Woodson was asked post-game, whose decision was it to go to a zone? And there was a long pause. That makes me think it was probably a group decision of like, Woody, you got to go zone. We can't stop this team. They want to run up and down. And they did. And when they went to the zone, it looked like me and you were in the backcourt for Michigan State, of just like, they just pulled us off this podcast and said, all right, go out there and play. They had Michigan State scared. I got to give Woodson and this team credit because they locked into that zone, and it's not something they've played a lot. I don't think they've really played it much. I think back to the Louisville game, they played it a couple of years ago and won at Madison Square Garden, right? Or maybe it was last year. It's not something that Mike Woodson does.
Sure, it brought back shades of when your boy Tom. Well, actually, I kind of like Tom Crean. Tom Crean found Syracuse.
God.
And he couldn't figure out the zone to save.
Well, so, a little bit more on the line there, and you really just, that's a deep cut, man. That is an absolute deep cut to my heart that you give us. I did not expect.
I'm on a high.
Oh no. I didn't expect Syracuse IU from 2012 to make its way. But you know what? And shout out to you. Yes, your Philadelphia Eagles. If we have enough time at the end.
I'm going on a 5-minute rant.
We'll let you go on a 5-minute rant at the end to talk about the Eagles when everybody else is signed off for sure. But congrats to you. And I'd be watching the Super Bowl replay on loop. As a Cincinnati Bengals fan over there, I'm glad you beat the Chiefs. But let's back to IU here. They found a way to piece this together. I mean, Miles Rice has had some challenges recently, and I thought in the second half, a much better version of him is what's needed. I mean, Austin Rivers, who was on the call, who I didn't think was all that bad, honestly, as an analyst. I haven't heard him much on a broadcast. I was talking about like Rice's quickness and speed. He needs to use that to his advantage. He's got to be more aggressive. I mean, what did you think of Rice last night?
I thought he played better than he did the last 2 games. I mean, I think Rice is kind of, I think he was definitely playing in the non-conference a lot better than he's playing now. Yeah, I think his game's digressed. I think it's probably like a confidence thing / I don't know if he's got something going on in his head or something, but he doesn't seem as confident with his shot or going to the rack or, but it's tough because our best player is Ballo probably, or Renew, or a big, and he's rushing down the court and everyone else is on the other side. So it's like it kind of hinders him a little bit.
You make me think of something though when you are starting to say our best player is this person or this person or this person or maybe this person. It shows you this team individually has talented pieces. Is it the right? Are they the right pieces for this team? I guess I think we've learned probably not. Right, that being 15-10 and 6-8 in the Big Ten. Having said that, Miles Rice in the second half, I thought made some plays. He missed one free throw late, but made a lot of big plays down the stretch. He was just getting to the rim.
Nothing gets me more revved up when they miss a 1-on-1. But go ahead.
I get that. But he did make some late. Yeah. Same with Mbako. We can crush him for the one miss, but let's give him credit for the other 5 that he made, right? And I think if you're shooting 71% from the free throw line on the road in the Big Ten, I think you'll take that every time. But they found a way to get it done really with, you got an Anthony Leal who, I just couldn't believe how many times Michigan State, like, Leal would deke them of like he was going into the paint and then would just pop back out and steal the ball. I'm like, It's like they'd never seen his zone before. It's not like, Anthony Leal's Pascal Siakam with a wingspan here. Like, it's not that. So I think that was just interesting to me of the way Michigan State handled it. A Tom Izzo coach team just turned into a pumpkin last night.
And you want Leal, but also Goody had a couple good steals last night. That one, he had Velcro in his hand. It looked like, and he just stole the ball from him. That was he was really strong on the wings of that zone. Or on on the bottom of the zone there. I thought they were both really strong. You saw late Leal was in there for Mbako, not the other way around. Mbako came in for some offense, but I got to give credit to Leal and Goody. I did not have them as defensive stars coming in, but hey, that shows you what effort and somebody that actually cares can do for a team, I think. So, yeah, hey, Sherman, if this team had a confident point guard, we could go places. If Rice somehow finds his groove, his confidence. That's all we're missing is guard play. Like, the other guys can just kind of, Renew's going to get his now that his knee's looking better, and Ballo's going to get his, and Mbako can make some shots, and Goody can hit the corner 3 and some threes. So really all we need is good guard play.
The guards got to come along. We got to get Galloway and Rice, namely, to be playing better. Hey, Trey Galloway, this is it, man. This is the end of the road for you. Anthony Leal, same thing.
End of the road for Leal, yeah.
Man, end of the road. One of my favorites.
Ballo, end of the road.
And hey, Ballo and Renew played like it last night. Renew, 19 shots, only made 8, but the 8 he made were huge. Yeah. And they could not stop him on the block.
And he actually got 12 rebounds.
So. Yeah, I had no problem with that. And who knows how long this lasts, right? But timely shooting, right? Just 3 of 13 from 3. Michigan State couldn't throw it in the ocean either, right? No. But you know what? We saw a weakness and we took advantage of it, and they didn't, and Indiana gets a win. So I'm going to ask you here.
If I was Michigan State, I would be expecting to see a lot more zone this year, but go ahead.
If I'm playing Michigan State, I'm playing zone the rest. Now, I'm not convinced they'll shoot it like that the rest of the year. But okay, so anything more specifically about that game? Indiana's got a rotation right now of 7 guys, right? I don't think you can count on Tucker for anything.
Okay, but we still need 8 guys.
Okay, so he's the 8th man. I did like Bryson Tucker. He only gave us 7 minutes, but I did like that twice that he tried to go and dunk the ball,
Yeah,
and he got fouled. He got fouled both times.
yeah. He got 3 points in 7 minutes. I mean, shoot, he had more points than Leo, and he played 22 less minutes.
I mean, it didn't all points though. I mean, Leo had some really important possessions that just couple of steals, just box outs, like things. It's the Jeff Sherman school of basketball, but I'm a way better shooter. No, I mean he used to be a good shooter. I don't know what happened to him, but be that as it may. Anything else stand out for you? Let's talk about Mike. Can we talk about Mike for a bit before we talk about the team? Pre-game, Mike Woodson stands up Don Fisher. Why?
I mean, what do you mean? Why? Let's just be honest. Mike didn't want to retire. They forced him to retire. I mean, let's just call a spade, and he didn't want to talk about it on the Don Fisher show, and that's what happened.
Well, I mean, this is the pregame of the I mean, Don Fisher isn't going to ask him about that. He's going to ask him about that. Don Fisher's a pro. You know how many coaches Don Fisher's seen ran out of here? Like he's not. This isn't something new to him, right?
Maybe Don Fisher should coach the team.
I mean, couldn't be any worse game plan, I'm sure, from that standpoint. But yeah, like I think going into that really rubbed me the wrong way of like, dude, if you want to coach out the string, like let's not stand up a Hall of Famer. Like, why? There's no point in that. You send Calvert Cheney to do it.
The only guy I've ever seen that doesn't talk to the people at halftime or whatever is Coach K. But Coach K has won ships, so
I mean,
he kind of had But
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? When they always talk to the guy at halftime of a big game, and they would try to talk to Coach K, it was always the assistant. Did you ever notice that?
Yeah, I mean, and hey, he can do whatever he wants, but like Mike Woodson, here's a little bit of advice to you, man. Like, just do the media obligations. Like, don't just blow people off, and don't blow people off from a standpoint of, the pregame, postgame, and by all means, I mean, I think he was happy to talk to everybody postgame, right? He just was, hey, let it roll, and I'll talk to anybody. And Ben may be having some audio difficulties, or we may have lost him altogether when we started talking Woodson. But let's talk, something a little big picture with Woodson here. Post game, he mentioned for the first time that I've heard that he wouldn't be back next year. Listen to the post game last night. He actually mentioned about the impact and that, he wouldn't be back next year and this and that and the other. So does that make you feel any better that Woodson actually acknowledged that he wouldn't be back? I think some people thought, oh, Indiana might go on a ride, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Indiana might go on a ride and Woodson changes his mind. That's not happening. He admitted it on the post game. So does that make you feel better at all?
Only thing that's gonna make me feel better, Sherm, is we get one of the 5 coaches that we talk about in a later episode. That's the only thing that's gonna make me sleep better at night with this Hoosier basketball team.
Yeah. We'll be doing that next week. We're gonna talk with Offen Donson about the coaching search and what's coming up. But what I will say, there's a lot of smoke tonight, Ben. There's a lot of smoke about Brad Stevens out there, and you know what? Instead of dismissing it, I'm here for it. Bring it. I want all the smoke. I'll track all the flights, whatever. I will buy into any.
I'm not tracking any flights after last year.
I'll track them for you.
We were in New York. Who did we think we were trying to get in New York? And we ended up with Mike Woodson. There was somebody we thought we were in New York to get. Who was it? You remember?
When you're tracking a flight out of Teterboro, New Jersey, you've hit rock bottom. But that's what we'll do. So, but this team has an opportunity. I'm gonna lay this out.
Hey, I will say one thing real quick.
Yeah.
When Billy Donovan was down by 50 the other night in the Bulls game, he looked like he might be ready to be a Hoosier. But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think
He's aged. He's aged 25 years in the last 2 years. But go ahead.
Yeah. So this Indiana team's 15-10, 6-8 in the Big Ten, and looking behind me, Ohio State's up 12 on Washington, so they're probably going to win that. It's going to put so I think Indiana's done enough to probably make the Big Ten tournament, which is good. But let's talk big picture. Indiana has 3 straight home games, which we talked last week about how Indiana's normalized losing at Assembly Hall. It's time to stop that trend. But let's just stay there. Humor me, okay? Let's say next, let's talk about, are these winnable? UCLA at home, is that winnable?
Yeah.
Okay. Purdue at home, played them right to the end at West Lafayette. Is that winnable?
Possibly.
Okay. Probably the toughest game left.
Hey, what about the Matt Painter? The Matt Painter smoke.
Hold on. Let me get through the schedule first. Penn State at home, 3 in a row.
Yeah, we can win Penn State.
Okay, so you got UCLA Friday night, Valentine's Day. They can
take your honey to the Hooker game.
I mean, there's plenty of seats in the upper levels. Get you some cheapos. Take your date there on Friday night. Yeah,
you might not see her the next day after that game, but yeah.
We're wearing the alternate uniforms. Good luck on that. They don't look good to me, but I don't care. Whatever. So 3 straight home games. They're all winnable. Then you go at Oregon, at Washington. Are those winnable?
Washington is. They suck.
Okay.
They're in
Oregon,
last place.
Is Oregon at least winnable?
No.
At Oregon's not winnable. You just won at Michigan State. You've won at Ohio State.
Yeah,
it's not winnable.
No. We're not flying cross country, beating a team that's got a top 10 pick point guard.
Okay. And then Ohio State at home. Is that winnable?
Oh, yeah, we beat them at Ohio State. So
okay. So is 4-2 reasonable?
Yeah.
Okay. Do the math. 4 wins. What's that get you in the Big Ten?
10-10.
What's that get you? 19-12. If there's any program in America that knows 19-12, 20-11, going to the Big Ten tournament, going to the conference tournament, it is Indiana. We are the kings of 17-14, 18-13, 20-11. We've been here. Let's go ahead and put it in ink. Indiana's on they're on the bubble in Indianapolis, and we'll probably have to play freaking Nebraska because that's just the way it works for us. I'm just telling you, all I ask for is a path, and there's one there. It's available. Now, if you lose by 20 Friday night to UCLA, it could be shot to hell. But it's Wednesday night when we're talking this. 48 hours from now, we could be rocking and rolling, or we could be dead in the water. That's what makes sports great. But there is a path. You said you saw today they were the last 4 out,
which blows my mind.
It does. Like, the bubble is horrible.
Yeah. Well, 68 teams make the tournament. There's only like 80 teams that are really even trying, if we're being honest.
and what is Indiana in the net rankings right now? 56.
Mm-hmm.
They moved up 5 spots. You got 2 quad 1 games coming up at home.
You love
win them both.
You love.
I mean,
quad.
I don't love quad 1. That's the requirements.
You love some quad 1 basketball.
I mean, it is what it is. I'm just saying, if we're sitting here, you've got Friday night, and then you've got 9 days off before you play Purdue.
If they win Friday,
that's just the way the schedule worked out.
Yeah.
If they end up winning Friday night, it'll be the happiest Indiana basketball fans have been maybe ever, because they know Mike Woodson's leaving. They just had a big couple wins, and they have a shot to maybe play some postseason basketball. Like, they could be pretty damn happy.
Hey,
I'm just saying, there's a path.
After those 9 days, do we think Kane and Carlisle will be playing basketball again?
I don't know, man. I think he's in leggings over there on the bench. I'm not even sure he's on the active roster. I don't know what's going on.
Is he sitting over there with Ja'Kai Newton or what's going on?
He's in uniform. I don't understand, but to each their own. I'm just saying, like, can you get it done? Yeah, I think you can. So let's just say Indiana finishes 19-12, wins a game in the Big Ten tournament. It'll be interesting. That's why I think that's what has to be done.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a lot far off of me saying maybe we're going to be 24-7 and win the Big Ten. That was stupid. But hey, it is what it is. Yes, Halliburton just hit a 3 to put us up. All right, we're all the way back. We got to win this. As I'm watching the Pacers on the side of my desk here, but I'm saying Indiana goes 19-12 going to the Big Ten tournament. What say you? That's 4 more wins out of 6.
I think we go 3-3.
You just who are they beating?
They'll blow one game. They'll blow a game. I think they're supposed to win. I just don't trust. I don't trust a team with 258% guard free throw shooters. I just don't.
Well, I mean, Miles Rice is 89%.
Yeah, but Leo and Galloway. Leo and Galloway. Leo and Galloway are playing the end of our games, and neither one of them can shoot a free throw. Let's call it a spade.
Anthony Leo, maybe he percentage-wise can't, but he hit 2 big ones last night. Mm-hmm. 2 really big free throws.
And nothing but net.
Michigan.
Nothing but net.
What were they thinking? Trying to miss with 5.8 left. What was that? And why did we foul so early? That was a couple things that I was like, what are we doing?
I don't know why he missed. That dude makes some free throws, too. Didn't he make like 7 in a row or something?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the guys, Trey Holloman's like 99% free throw shooter. So, be that as it may, let's talk just briefly, because we are going to talk about this with Off and Donned. Let's talk briefly about the coaching search. Just briefly. There is a coaching search. No matter what Indiana does the rest of the way, no matter what happens, Mike Woodson will not be the coach. He confirmed it with his own mouth last night in the press conference and said, the fact that I won't be back next year, it is tough. It is hard, for these guys, what have you. So I have a hot board, top 5. We're going to talk about this with Off and Donned next week, but I have a hot board, and it goes as such. Brad Stevens, Tony, I told you, Tony told me. He laid out all the reasons why. Brad's Dusty May. I don't know if it gets any further than those 2. Scott Drew. Don't like it?
I don't know. He's got a top 5 player this year, and his team sucks.
I wrote it down here on my sheet. I think that's the top 3. I don't think it gets any further than that. Mick Cronin doesn't do anything for me.
No.
Chris Beard. I went back and read that police report, dude. It's pretty effing bad.
I will say one thing. Chris Beard will have a national championship in the next 5 years.
Let me ask you this
about North Carolina.
Let me ask you this about Chris Beard. Why did Kentucky, Louisville, and Michigan not look at him last year? Not one of them.
Did he sign with Ole Miss last year or the year before? I can't remember.
He had finished his first year at Ole Miss last year. They didn't even look at him.
Man, you gotta have a couple years go by to let that wear off, and then they go.
Oh yeah, a little domestic violence. Oh, Randy down the street, he beat the crap out of his wife, but 3 years later, he's cool. Like I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think Indiana will do it. I don't think they'll do it.
Hey, that man can coach, and he'll have a ship in the next 5 years. You can roll your eyes, shrug your shoulders, but he's winning a ship. He's one of the top 5 coaches in basketball.
Hey, I'm not the best person in the world, but I've never strangled my significant other in my life. So
hey, I don't abide by it, but we're supposed to,
So actually, you know what? He's off my list.
All right.
He's off. All right. I'm telling. What does Bucky McMillan do for you?
Nothing. I only have 2 names on my list. I got Chris Beard and Bruce Pearl. I don't even want anyone else.
I mean, Bruce Pearl is a wonderful basketball coach. There's no doubt about that. And he's obviously very polarizing. He doesn't hold anything back. He tells you what he thinks, whether you like it or not. I mean, I don't see that, but I mean, I will say this: if it's Bruce Pearl or Chris Beard, I'd rather have Bruce Pearl. Bruce Pearl's I mean, I don't agree with his polarization and like the way he talks on social media and all that stuff, but he also doesn't have a domestic violence rap sheet either. So if we're talking, would you rather somebody, you know, kind of wacky on social media about certain issues, or you know, has a mugshot with domestic violence? I'll take the guy that's
listen. Yeah. Dan Hurley's he's a nut job. He might not be strangling women, but he's an absolute nut job. Yeah. He talks trash to the fans. He's like my boy Nick Sirianni. Oh, by the way, I'm about to talk about the Eagles and they're here in about 2 minutes, but go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna let you go here at the end. 5 minutes about the Eagles.
No, I'm gonna need
2 minutes about the Eagles. So,
I got a shout out to the Jalen Hurts haters.
I'm just saying there's a lot of smoke on social media tonight about Brad Stevens, and I'm here for it.
Why would he leave the world's cushiest job where he's making plenty of money, got no stress, already built the team? He's just got to sit there and reap his rewards.
So here's a few reasons, okay? One, new ownership group coming in. Okay? They didn't hire him, whatever. Second, the guy's a basketball coach. Maybe he wants to coach basketball again. He's made gobs and gobs of money. In Indiana, it's not like he's going to make, you know, $2 million a year. They're going to have to pay him 10, 12 million as a basketball coach. So, like, he'll probably make a comparable salary as a basketball coach that he is now. And hey, we can sit here and say, oh, it's easy to be the president of basketball operations of the Boston Celtics. Have you met Boston sports fans? They're pretty freaking crazy too.
Yeah, I just
so
don't want to get my hopes up when we see the plane land in New York, New Jersey, thinking we're going to talk to Brad Stevens, and we end up talking to freaking Mike Woodson.
Well, maybe it's Isaiah Thomas this time is who we talk to. But no, I mean, I'm tracking something out of Teterboro to Miami to Bloomington. Like, I'm here for that. I'd rather live in a world for the next 6 weeks where we're tracking flights all over the place than, than Mike Woodson coming back next year. I'd rather that, be the case, and so be it. So, that's just what it is. So, all right. Eagles win the Super Bowl. You're a diehard Eagles fan. We got nothing else. Let it rip.
So my early thoughts are all the Jalen Hurts haters that say he's a game manager, this and that. But what they don't understand is the man does not turn the ball over. He plays great in big games, and he runs the ball. He throws dots. So I just want to say that to the haters. I want to say to the Vic Fangio haters that said he was 0-8 versus Pat Mahomes, that he was with shitty offenses with Denver and the Bears. So that was part of the reason for why they never won. But he had a hell of a game plan versus the Chiefs. He knew exactly where Pat Mahomes was going to run in the B gaps. He knew exactly what was going on, and he had a great game plan. And shout out to Saquon Barkley for taking 25 hits. He blocked his ass off. Yes, he didn't have as big of a game as we thought he would, but he set the single season record in rushing for one season with the season and postseason. And that's all I got to say.
Is this the beginning of is this a beginning? I mean, you didn't even mention the defense. That's the reason you won the damn game.
Vic Fangio.
But Vic Fangio. Let's talk about the studs that are like second, third year players on your defense are all on rookie contracts.
Oh, Cooper DeJean,
Quinyon Mitchell, Jalen Carter.
Yeah,
studs.
But Josh Sweat, who's going to be a free agent, 2.5 sacks. Milton Williams.
We need him in Cincinnati. I'm ready to bring Josh Sweat home to Cincinnati. Absolutely. Let's bring
I don't
him
think
in.
I don't think we can sign him for $20 million a year. We'll see. But
right.
Bond, the free agent pickup of the year, the guy was the Saints didn't even play.
We'll take him too. We'll take him too.
The Saints didn't even play him. Comes out, freaking dives 5 yards, intercepts Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, if the Saints don't play somebody, you should sign him. Trey Hendrickson, same thing. We saw where that helped.
Johnson from them. Yeah. So shout out to the boys.
So shout out to your Eagles.
Nick Sirianni, who everyone hated on. Yes, he does act childish. Yes, he does do this. But you know what? I've decided to be a great college coach, an NFL coach. You got to be kind of an asshole, and you got to talk a little bit of that ish. Because look at your boy Dan Hurley the other night talking to the Creighton fans, acting like he's 7 years old.
Well,
but he just won 2 ships in a row.
Maybe, just maybe, this hot board. Does Mark Byington do anything for you? Doesn't do anything for me.
The Vanderbilt guy.
Ben McCollum.
I don't see how we can take a risk after our last couple of hires. When you go from Archie Miller to Mike Woodson, you got to kind of just pay money and pay a big name. You can't take any more. This guy could be great picks. You just had 2 subpar hires. You gotta shoot for the fence. I think.
I'm saying.
I'd rather have Dana.
The top two are Brad Stevens and Dusty May. I don't think it gets any further than that.
My top 2 are Chris Beard and Bruce Pearl.
I don't even think Bruce Pearl's actually on like I don't even think I don't think he wants to leave Auburn.
Hey man, you just don't know. Auburn's a football school.
So is Indiana now. Boom. Yeah. Hey, you set me up for that one. So, all right. Well, we'll be back Friday night. Are we doing Friday night after dark?
No,
Friday night.
That's Valentine's Day. I can't guarantee that.
Oh, it's Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll get those sheets cleaned up for Valentine's Day. All right. So, all right. Well, that's a little glimpse into the private lives of ours. So we will end it on that note. Indiana's a winner. Everybody enjoy it. Friday night. Whether you're around or not, I might go live and then we'll record it again. So
that's fine.
All right. We'll talk to you later, everybody.
Bye.